Hi people, it's Archivist here with another vlog video, and today I'm going to talk about a few things I was going to mention in the weekly roundup but didn't have time to, sadly, but I'm going to make up for it now. But I'm going to do it in an unscripted form because sadly at the moment I don't have a lot of time to make videos, but these ones are very easy to make, so I'm going to do it here instead. Okay, so the first thing that everyone's talking about is the connectless Xbox One. I'm so glad this is happening. I was almost certain it was going to happen, and I think this is going to do wonders for the Xbox One. Don't get me wrong, there are still flaws with the system, but taking away the need for a Kinect and thereby, more importantly, reducing the price is a great move by Microsoft, and to me that suggests they're actually heading in the right direction. Perhaps they're going to have a more logical focus now. We'll start seeing more of a focus on games in particular. I mean, as much as I love graphics, if they come out with some solid titles, there's going to be Halo 5, Sunset Overdrive, Rise 2 has been mentioned. I don't know if that'll be an improvement over the original. If they come out with all these games, then it's going to make the platform viable because, as many people are aware, PC has the potential to be the most powerful. So really, when it comes to consoles, you need software to outdo it. You can't compete with it on a hardware level because PCs can constantly evolve. And if you want any proof of that, look at the original Wii. To be fair, that was a combination of hardware and software, but look at the sales figures for things like Mario Kart. You know, they're absurd, they're so high. So if Xbox One can come out with some killer apps, then I can see it possibly coming out on top. Not to guarantee that, of course, the PlayStation 4's got some solid games on the way as well. Who can predict from now? We're so early on, it's so difficult to pinpoint exactly where these consoles are going. But overall, the connectless Xbox One, I think, can only do good for Microsoft and the consumer overall, because hopefully they'll, the more money they make, the more they'll be able to give us some good deals, the more they'll be able to invest into the console. It's good for everyone, really. Okay, now moving on to the Watch Dogs controversy that went on. Originally, Sony said that it would run at 1080p and 60 frames per second, but then they quietly amended it and said instead it's 900p at 30 frames per second, which is quite a big difference. I'm surprised they ever said that. I don't know if they were intentionally advertising that to try and get some pre-orders and then changed it back and said, no, we never said that, we never said that. You can't support that practice if it wasn't done intentionally, but if it was a mistake, it was a mistake. It could have just been an admin problem. To be honest though, does Watch Dogs look like the kind of game that could run at 60 frames per second, 1080p, even on some of the most powerful gaming rigs out there? I mean, there are so many objects you can interact with. You have the people who you can scan, you've got security cameras, certain traffic systems. There's so much that outside of actual graphics that the console will also have to process. So there's no way it could hit that holy grail, the 60 frames, 1080p mark, get amazing graphics all around, and have all these intricate systems. That's just impossible. So I wouldn't feel cheated that the game doesn't run like that, because this does look like a very, very complex game. Although one thing this does suggest to me though, is that games aren't going to be getting much better on these consoles from a graphical standpoint. They're based on x86 architecture, so there's only so much that developers can learn as we go along. And if they're making compromises now, how much more power can they squeeze out of these consoles? But to see it from another perspective, there are other things that developers could concentrate on if they don't want to focus on graphics. I mean, for one thing, am I the only one who thinks games are getting too short? As much as I loved Infamous Second Son, it was over far too quickly. Far too quickly. I did it in a weekend and I wasn't even power playing it. If developers focus more time on just putting more substance into a game, I wouldn't mind if we stayed at the same level of graphics. Although having said that, the Xbox One could take advantage of cloud gaming in the future. At the moment, we just don't have the infrastructure in the UK or America to take advantage of cloud gaming properly. I mean, just try OnLive to see what I'm talking about. But there is that ESRAM thing the Xbox One has. I don't know if that's something that's going to affect it too much. And finally, this isn't really news, it's just a thought that's come to me, is that I believe that Mario Kart and Super Smash Bros. Could honestly do wonders for Wii U sales. As I've mentioned, the Wii U isn't doing too well in terms of sales at the moment, but if we look to the past, at what past games in those two franchises have done, they have been some of the best selling games on those consoles. GameCube, Super Smash Bros. Melee was, I think, the best selling game for that. And for the original Wii, Mario Kart was one of the best games for that console. You could make the argument that the reason Mario Kart did so well on the Wii was because so many people already owned a Wii, so it was only natural they went out and bought this game. But you never know. People who bought the Wii, bought Mario Kart, now they're thinking, why should I get a new Wii U? Well, there's this new Mario Kart game, I enjoyed the original, maybe it's time to upgrade. So I think that those two games could do well for Wii U sales, and I hope they do, because, Nintendo, they've got some old-fashioned style that I don't want to go away. I want them to remain in the industry. I mean, they've got loads of money, so they're not going away completely, even if the Wii U bombs, but I do like them being there, They offer an alternative. Although the Xbox One and the PS4 have differences, they are fundamentally very similar. They offer a very similar experience, but Nintendo always have something, I guess you could just say, alternative, Okay, I'm going to wrap this video up now. As always, people, thanks very much for watching, and see you next time.